Candace Parker's involved in this, folks. Candace Parker's involved in this. You don't think she's talking to Aaliyah Boston during the podcast? Hey, AB, I got this thing. I know you're getting paid this and Unrivaled, but we could pay you this over here. I'm sure she's having that conversation. I'm sure she's having that conversation with a lot of players in the WNBA. The question is, how much are they offering, and will they jump?
This isn't speculation or theory. This is Candace Parker, a Hall of Famer and now an investor in a Saudi-backed basketball league, potentially recruiting WNBA stars right under the league's nose. And if you think that's crazy, you haven't heard the rest. What's coming for the WNBA isn't just competition. It could be an extinction-level event. A new league called Project B is preparing to launch with Saudi funding. They're offering WNBA players contracts so big that current Supermax deals look like pocket change. We're talking 7 figures for role players, 8 figures for stars. And for Caitlin Clark, the number being whispered is $200 million. Yes, $200 million, not $20 million, not $50 million. Here's what's even more shocking. That number actually makes sense. Just a week ago, I would have said Caitlin would never play anywhere but the WNBA. She's loyal, a purist. She turned down Unrivaled twice, and she even passed on huge endorsement deals from Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. She doesn't need to chase every dollar. But now, this isn't about money anymore, it's something bigger. This is about the WNBA potentially losing its entire foundation because they refuse to give their biggest star basic respect. If you think the story behind the story matters, hit that like button. It shows you're paying attention to what's really happening. So what exactly is Project B? It's not some startup with big dreams and no funding. This is a fully backed, Saudi-funded global basketball league that's been in the works for 2 years. The league was founded by Grady Burnett, a former Google and Facebook executive, and Jeff Apprentice, the co-founder of Skype. These aren't just basketball people trying to dabble in tech. They're tech titans who know how to scale global products. They've built an investor group that reads like a who's who of elite sports. Backers include U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens, Hall of Fame NFL quarterback Steve Young, tennis legend Novak Djokovic, and, critically, former WNBA star Elena Del Don, serving as Chief Basketball Officer. Elena Del Don is running the basketball operations directly, which means this league really understands the women's game from the inside. Then there's Candace Parker, an investor and leader, reportedly having serious conversations with current WNBA players. Multiple sources say Burnett's team is already telling potential investors they plan to pay 10 times current WNBA salaries, 10 times what the proposed WNBA Supermax under the next CBA would be. Right now, the highest a player could earn is about $850,000, and the veteran minimum is around $300,000. Now imagine you're making $300,000, and someone offers you $3 million for a shorter season, better travel, and first-class everything. That's not just tempting. It's generational wealth. And here's the kicker. These numbers aren't random. Saudi Arabia has a history of shaking up sports leagues with money traditional organizations simply can't match.
Saudi Arabia has gotten more and more involved in sports over the past decade. Probably the biggest league that they started was Live Golf, which directly competed with the PGA and also stole some of the biggest PGA golfers because they were able to offer them insane contracts. Like the #1 Live Golf player earned $300 million. Phil Mickelson earned $200 million, and the list goes on.
The LIV Golf playbook is right there for everyone to see. They didn't just pay competitive salaries. They offered world-breaking contracts that forced the PGA Tour to completely rethink how they do business. Now, that same playbook is coming for women's basketball. The format makes it even more disruptive. 6 teams of 11 players, playing 7 tournaments across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Each tournament lasts 2 weeks, and the full season is just 14 weeks. During the WNBA off-season, on paper, this means top players could technically play in both leagues without breaking contracts. But read between the lines. If Project B is offering 7 or 8-figure contracts, do you really think they'll be okay with players risking burnout for a fraction of that money in the WNBA? It's likely those huge contracts will come with exclusivity clauses. Play here or play there, but not both. When that choice comes, players are going to follow the money, and they should. The WNBA has had decades to figure this out, yet they've consistently underpaid and undervalued the talent that drives their revenue. And we're not just talking about hypothetical offers here. According to multiple reports, some players have already quietly signed. Nothing is public yet, but contracts are being finalized behind the scenes. The dominoes are starting to fall. If you want, I can combine all the sections you've given me into one polished, viral-ready script that flows naturally from start to finish. It would be ready for social media or a video narrative. Do you want me to do that?
A player like Sophie Cunningham, in all honesty, a player like Sophie Cunningham, who is a good contributor to a team, and we know has star power. She's got the looks, she's got the personality. The Saudis are liable to pay Sophie Cunningham $5 million in that league. There is no chance of her earning that from the Unrivaled or from the WNBA. And they're not going to agree. You can bet these WNBA players already know how much the Saudis are willing to pay.
Sophie Cunningham could make $5 million in Project B versus maybe $250,000 in the WNBA. That's a 20x difference, the gap between being comfortable and being set for life. And if that's the math for a solid role player, imagine what it looks like for actual superstars, like Caitlin Clark. Here's where it gets even more strategic. Project B is reportedly offering equity in the league. Not just paychecks, but actual ownership stakes. Players would own a piece of the business, something the WNBA has never offered and likely never will. That's not just short-term money. That's long-term wealth building. Deals like this can change family trees. The WNBA is facing something it's never seen before: real competition with unlimited resources and potentially orchestrated by one of its own legends. Candace Parker isn't just an investor. She has direct access to every major player. She podcasts with them, broadcasts with them, and she knows exactly what they're frustrated about because she lived it herself. Recently, Candace Parker has made it clear she's not happy with how the WNBA operates under Kathy Engelbert's leadership. Before we go further, drop a comment with your prediction. Does Caitlin stay loyal to the WNBA or take the massive payday and force the league to face what they've lost? I want to hear what you think happens next. Would Caitlin take the deal? Should she? The WNBA season may be over, but the real drama is just beginning. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.